Hey kids, Mrs. Scummer here. Welcome to Cherry Hill Farm.
And welcome to Sully Plantation. Today we'll be taking a virtual field trip to both historic landmarks.
You know, kids, you're like getting two field trips in one. Sully Plantation and Cherry Hill Farm. Now, let's get started. Before Cherry Hill Farmhouse was built in the land of Falls Church, it was governed by the Iroquois Confederacy. That's interesting.
And the land where Sully Plantation sits once belonged to the Dogue Indians. They were part of the Algonquian language group. Some English words that came from the Algonquian Indians include raccoon, Chicago, Michigan, chipmunk, and pecan.
I believe it's pronounced pecan.
Okay. Eventually, the lands came into the hands of the Lee family. The plantation house was built by Richard Bland Lee. He was the uncle of Robert E. Lee and Northern Virginia's first ever congressman. The house was built in 1799.
Hey, just 46 years later, in 1845, the farmhouse at Cherry Hill was built. Eventually, the Blaisdell family moved in, and the house is furnished to look as it did when the Blaisdells lived here they lived here from 1856 to 1868.
Here at Sully Plantation, the big crop was tobacco, though eventually the Lee family started growing corn, wheat, rye, and barley as well.
So, look at this. See this? These are all fields, because the fields behind Cherry Hill Farm were mainly filled with orchards. Interesting. They grew apples, peaches, and pears. Pears? I love pears. I'm gonna go buy a pear tree.
Among the outbuildings here at Sully Plantation, you'll find the Smokehouse. This is where they would hang meat overhead to cure it. There was also a dairy and ice house. The walls are insulated with earth and straw. This keeps things cool, so the Lees were able to store milk, eggs, and butter inside. The Lee family also had a kitchen built outside of the main house, and the reason why they have it built outside the main house, in case of fire. They didn't want to cause the main part of the house or the main building to catch on fire. The Lees had 29 slaves on the grounds. This is a replica of a slave hut, where slaves like Madame Juba, a laundress, or Thornton, the cook, might have lived. The Lees also owned Lubell. He tried to run away at one point, but was returned unable to gain his freedom.
There are also several outbuildings at Cherry Hill, including this hand-hewn timber barn. Yeah, hand-hewn, After the harvest, corn still on the cob is placed in a corn crib, like this one. The Blaisdells also once had a smokehouse and an ice house, just like the Lees, but there were no slaves here at Cherry Hill Farm.
Historic sites often serve as witnesses to history, and Sully Plantation is no exception. During the Civil War, the house was owned by the Barlow family. Throughout the war, Marie Barlow played host to several Confederate officers. She even served breakfast to Jeb Stuart.
Cherry Hill Farmhouse also served as an eyewitness to history. I know, but it's true. Because during the course of the Civil War, the property was crossed over many times by both the Union and the Confederate soldiers. There's even a legend that says soldiers from both sides were involved in a skirmish, Google that one, on the property. They weren't fighting over slavery. Ready for this? They were fighting over peaches. Both sides thought a nice juicy peach would be a good change from hardtack. The people of Falls Church, including those who lived at Cherry Hill, right here, also feared Mosby's Raiders. I know you've heard that word before. Who often rode into town and kidnapped any Northern sympathizers.
Yeah, that was a completely different Mosby.
Hey kids, here's a fun fact. You see that window right there? The one that I'm pointing to? Interesting fact about that. You might not know it, but there's a secret hiding place in that room. It's the kids' room. So, you know how sometimes you have a secret hiding place? Well, the family had a secret hiding place there where they hid things. Like they hid silver, money, and other valuables. And they hid it there for the duration of the war. Wow, I'm going home to find a secret hiding place.
That's amazing. Sully Plantation also has a fun fact. There's a stuffed white squirrel in the parlor. The Lee children used to have a pet squirrel just like it. Even the gift shop here at Sully Plantation is called the Squirrel's Nest.
Did someone say squirrel?
After the Civil War, the Riley family moved into the Cherry Hill Farmhouse. Joseph Riley established, wait for it, the first public school in Falls Church, the Jefferson Institute. His daughter, Mary, married Samuel Stiles. Stiles. Heard that name somewhere before. Eventually, the public library in Falls Church was named after her. Mary Riley Stiles. Go figure. Oh, this is good stuff. This is good. That's good.
The federal government bought Sully in 1958. They were going to build Dulles Airport on this site, but after a campaign to save it, President Eisenhower declared it a National Historic Site. Now the airport is down the road a bit. You can visit Sully Plantation anytime.
And you can visit Cherry Hill as well. I'll see you next time.